Welcome to Eurobasket News, and here is the top scoring player in the whole world for basketball from today. American point guard Walyn Napper was the top scorer of the day in the world with the 42 points he had in the Colombian league. Napper is the fourth best scorer in the league, averaging over 19 points and 7 rebounds.
Nothing came easy for me. Nothing was given to me. Nothing was handed to me. I had no handouts. I was never spoon-fed. My mom and dad always taught me, whatever you want in life, you have to go get it. And I watched them each and every day from when I was a kid provide for me and both of my brothers. But everything I did, I built from the ground up. God gave me a solid foundation. And that started with family, people supporting you, friends supporting you, all the trials and tribulations that I went through in life, or losing loved ones, losing close friends, being the kid that's bad, the kid that's getting kicked out, the kid that has a bad attitude. All that fueled me and gave me motivation to understand that I have to change and I have to do things that I want to do. And that's what I went and did. I went and got everything that I have in life. The one point that I had to look at myself in the mirror and understand that I have to build it from the ground up. That's what I did. Parsons Mill is what actually made me. I would say I'm like half and half Bama, half South Carolina, coming into that neighborhood, like I said before, sometimes I wouldn't get picked up. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to play, or sometimes I wouldn't be able to go to these places with them because they're older. In Parsons Mill, everybody was really at our house. Like, our house was like the neighborhood house. Instantly from when we moved there, we seen people outside, so we went out and interacted with them. And growing up, he was always really like quiet, but he was always with me and my older brother everywhere we went.
He was a good kid, all in all. He was very active. When I had him, that's when I had to take my high heels off and put on sneakers because I was always running, because he was very active. When we first moved here from Alabama, it was a hard change. I only played football. Didn't really play basketball. We moved from the country to the city, so that was a big adjustment. Coach Chico was one of the ones that noticed him to play basketball, and another summer league coach at North Springs, I forget his name, but yeah, shout out to him too. And they just seen that Walyn was just like a pure athlete. And he came to the basketball court shooting curry range shots as a kid, and he kind of just started with basketball from there. When we started going outside, playing throw 'em up, bust 'em up, just us three, we kind of gravitated all the kids to start coming outside, and we just grew up together, and we just made this thing called Parsons Mill Boys that my dad made, because we was always outside together, doing literally everything together. Whether it was basketball, football, manhunt, where Trey used to chase us around. All the way life, he played with the older group. He was never really around nobody his age besides when he was at school or something. But other than that, he was always around the older group. So I feel like that playing a part in his life just advanced his game, like naturally, really. It shaped me and made me the player I am today. Because when we used to play like full court, 2-on-2 or 3-on-3, I would never get picked up. So my thing was I always kick the ball, or not want to get off the court and just stand there in the middle while they play. So them hard times, not getting picked up, not being able to play with the bigger guys, that kind of shaped me and made me want to work harder. As my brother once said, he used to always see me outside with the cones while everybody else is probably inside playing the game or him lifting weights. It just inspired me to want to get better. Be more. I got him right here with me. Be more means a lot to me. He was like another big brother for me. Just came home from school one day, one of our first days of school out here, and we just saw a light-skinned dude out there throwing the football up in the air to himself with a Drew Brees jersey on, and that's when I had just got a Reggie Bush jersey, Saints Reggie Bush jersey. So I was like, look, he got a Drew Brees jersey on, so I put my jersey on. We went out there and we just asked him who he was. And then he told us his name and everything. And he asked if we played football. We was like, yeah. So we just started throwing the football, and then we just formed a friendship from there. He was the one that always kept a smile on somebody's face, while if he was having a bad day, and I know he was probably having a lot of bad days, but he always had a smile on his face. And that was like definitely one of my big brothers, like an extension of Cam and Trey. So
that's my guy. It really hit all of us really hard, really. And for Way, you know, him being a form of his big brother in the neighborhood, it really hit him hard. And it was just around all the time, that time that Way was changing his life mentally. You know, he was mature. It was around his early high school years, so he was just growing into a lot of things in himself, and then that happening kind of changed me. I don't know if it was in a good way or a bad way at the same time. You know, mostly me, when I was growing up, I was a class clown. I was always wanting to talk, always wanted to make everybody laugh. But when he passed, I don't know, I just did like a 360 switch. I wouldn't say I became like nonchalant, but I kind of became more reserved. You know, I kind of became less talkative at times. But, you know, my friends around me kind of brought that back out of me. He will always hold a special place in my heart because I look at him as Trey or Cam, and you know, man, I wasn't probably always with them or like always around, but he was definitely like another big brother to me. And everything that I do, I never let it live down. It's always LLBM or it's always PMB. Parsons Mill and BMO will always be in my legacy, no matter where I go. Right, if I'm dribbling the ball, if I'm coaching, if I'm working a 9 to 5, no matter what I'm doing, that's gonna be my reason why, not just my family, but Parsons Mill and just living out that legacy for us all. I have a shirt that says LLBM on the front and Be More for Life. My dad came up with that saying, be more for life. No matter what you're going through, you just have to be more for life. You have to want more for yourself. Time don't stop. You know, the clock is always ticking. Some days you're gonna have it all, some days you're not. You know, early mornings and late nights is what's gonna build you. You're gonna have your cloudy days, you're gonna have your sunshine days with the rainbows. But what matters most is what you do when you have the cloudy days. You only can control what you can control. And that's what I had to learn throughout my life. And it took me a long time till I was probably about 23, to be completely honest. And that's when I was at Longwood. You have to control what you can control, and you can control your effort in life, your attitude in life, and how hard you work in life. So when I figured out those three things, I became the man and the player that I am today.
Napper graduated from Longwood College last year. Among many awards, his college team won the Big South Conference tournament in 2024. Napper was also selected to the Big South Conference LL tournament team in 2024.
You know, in high school, I won 2 state championships with Ridgeview High School. So getting back to a championship in college is different. You know, you're in college now, you're playing against a lot of good talent. But going throughout that whole playoff journey, you know, we had our ups and downs throughout the whole entire season. We started 12-0, then we lost a lot of games. Didn't know which way our season was going to turn out, but you know, me and DA as the captains and leaders, we kind of didn't like put everybody in check, but we checked ourselves personally and just said like we got to do what we have to do to help the team. So that's what we did. And I remember senior night we played High Point, and this game was going to determine if we finished 5th place or last.
Napper driving in, puts it up at the buzzer. He got it! Walyn Napper puts Longwood on top.
I hit the game-winning layup, sent us to the playoffs as the 5th seed. But going through that whole journey of that tournament, it was a lot of ups and downs. And we won the first game, smooth sailing. Then we played High Point again. That was basically like a rivalry for us. We was always the best 2 teams in the conference. So playing them there at their home arena was even more special because how their fans was, the heckling, the trash talk. We won that game. My boy E.T. had a big game in the overtime. But after that game, he got hurt. We lost him. So going into the championship, we knew we had Asheville. We honestly didn't know what to expect. Honestly, losing E.T. because, you know, we had a lot of good bigs, but E.T. with the energy that he had, we just kind of needed him. So that we was kind of down about that. But, you know, that morning of the championship, I did something that I normally don't do. Because, you know me, I don't talk a lot. So, but as a leader at Longwood, that's something that you have to build on. And that's what I did in my 2 years. But I said a little speech before the game, and it didn't surprise everybody, but it was kind of like a shocking thing. Like, oh, Walyn is giving a speech before the game. And I felt like that's what kind of helped everybody to lock in. And we went out to that game, and in the first half, we was up 20. And you know that feeling where, like, I don't know, we was already high, like, riding the high ship, thinking we already won. You know what I'm saying? So we got to the locker room, and I told people the job's not done. You know, we got to keep playing. We got to finish the job. We got to do it for ET. So after winning the championship, man, that's probably one of the best moments of my life, especially after all the things that I've been through at Longwood and my journey with basketball in school and all that. That was a very special moment for me.
Field of 68 will have at least one team from the state. The Longwood Lancers are headed to the NCAA tournament for only the second time in program history, both in the last 3 years, after they defeated UNC Asheville 85-59 to claim the Big South title. In the last 3 days, Longwood beat the number 4, 1, and 2 seeds on their way to the championship.
You know, my first year, the fall season I missed of going to Europe because I was injured. I was still trying to recover from a growing injury. So that was kind of like a hard time for me trying to figure out, you know, you going from playing basketball and doing these things every day to like now you don't have it. So it's like, it's like a life changer. Like you hit a brick wall, you don't know what's next. So shout out my coach, BG. He actually set me up with that opportunity overseas in Colombia. So I commend him for that. But being able to get back on the court and, you know, going to a different country, you don't know what to expect. It's a culture shock, you know, language barrier. The food's different. You know, you come from America where it's a lot of different fast food options. But when you go there, you didn't really have a lot. So I took a big leap of faith. And, you know, I'm a big family person. So always leaving my family is always hard, even when I would go to college. But being over there, it was like amazing. Honestly, when I got there, because I didn't know what to expect. You know, I'm walking into something totally new. But I had a great time there, man. It just showed me the type of player that I can be. I'm resilient. You know, all the ups and downs, even over there, behind the scenes, you know, probably not getting paid on time. Sometimes your payment late. You know, sometimes your money's short. But if you love the game, then you're in it for the game. You're not always in it for the money, the bonus. So really just adjusting to everything, especially the culture. The language barrier was one of the hardest things because you may want to go order you something nice, a nice little meal, but maybe the person not understanding you, and then you even show it on your phone. When you translate it from English to Spanish, it might switch a word into their language that, you know, it may not make sense. So I'd probably say the language barrier and then my family, oh, that was the hardest thing. It just showed me I know I can play at any level. I can play at the highest level. And I just had that belief in myself, and I went over there and had a great year. I helped them go to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. You know, so wherever I go, I always win. I just want to prove that I'm one of the best guards to ever come through South Carolina. And no matter what anybody said about Walyn, he got the job done.